Hello. What are we doing? I think we were up to SQL updates last week. And I think we had a bug about args. In a way that I feel like I want to do some lower level, just like testing with Postgres. Figure out exactly what's going on here. See if I can repro things. Because, like, it really seems like, let me just, like, build and uncomment and see what's going on. What do I want? Just, like, build.j, right? Okay, make it build. All the tests pass. If I run if I uncomment my test, right. Invalid input syntax for type of big int. I feel like this has got to be... Like, I'm not actually allocating args correctly or something. Like, I'm passing around, like, I'm getting, like, pointers to unallocated memory. It's, like, something that would be seg faulty if I were in a stricter environment. Is what I think has to be happening. To get this kind of an error. So, let's see. I think what that is defined in, like, repo. Yeah. It is kind of odd. I wonder, like, how this wants to be... Like, where would these want to get defined? And what kind of types would they want to have in, like, a longer-term app? Anyway, let me pause. I guess nobody's really paying attention. Alright, the vision of this is to be able to say that, like, I have some struct of type user update, which is like an update operation wrapped around this user mutable field, which is just email. I want to change the email on this user. And then I want to do this SQL update execute on the users table with this changed field and this scope. And it's just pointers to both of them. But this user update is like a struct that knows, like it's like a funny struct because I've defined it up here, where it has a SQL expression and it knows how to convert itself into args, which is an array of any. And yeah, it has this matching type. And I figure, like, at some point, maybe... I feel like I'm, like, close to wanting to throw in a modify here so that you, like, only specify updatable fields, and these are just, like, computed for you. Maybe we're not there yet. Use a modify in SQL update and similars struct definition instead of run SQL update. This makes sense to me. It seems like an interesting idea for later, though. Yeah, okay. I guess I can clear these out, because that's done. We have inserts and deletes pretty well. Yeah, this copy pasta. I guess this is, like, strong to call a to-do, but, like... It seems like it would be nice to share this implementation of to SQL update args / to SQL insert args. Alright, I bet what's happening here is... like, okay, so the thing that's different about Well, we got a lot going on, don't we? I think we're struggling with, like on SQL insert, our tests couldn't play with this because we didn't have like a good way to serialize a date time. So that makes me want to look inside. Alright. That seems like a good idea. That was something that we ran into. Looks like we couldn't play with these, which I think that the bug, alright. I think I'm trying to say something out loud that I keep tripping over and stopping myself from saying. But to pick back up with what was going on here, it's like, like it looks like we've got, yeah, like our problem is in here, and it's that when we try, yep, okay. So like here in this execute, we do some work to join the set SQL expression and the where SQL expression, and we merge the args like this. And like I wonder, these args that we're like smushing in here, I don't know, maybe I'll just like print out all the args. I don't know. And like maybe I'll like, this probably won't help, but just like see what's going on with that, right? Can't hurt. Oh yeah, we're still blowing up. But yeah, like we have like arg141 and arg some new. This seems plausible. If we run it again, we have an increased ID. Yeah, why is it blowing up? Okay, so like args looks pretty much accurate. I don't know. We spread args? Like, is that the problem? I think we played with array add. I think that we could do, like, args here is going to be, the length of it is going to be governed entirely by, like, update.args count plus SQL where.args count, right? Maybe this needs, like, one of those. But I think these don't even, I think they do need to reference the types here, yeah. Okay, and we don't need to do that anymore. We don't have to, we don't use array add, we just say like args it index gets it. And then for where.args, oh, this is tricky. Like, I wonder when where is null, what does args count default to? I might have to mess with that. I bet this is a compiler break, and I bet it'll be interesting. But we can get there when we get there. Args, like, update.args count plus it index gets it. Like, I can't imagine that this helps, but, like, let's fix this build break and then get there. Args count is not a member of SQL update, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Let's throw it in. I don't know, what's the right way to do this? Maybe get the type info of updatable fields.members.count. That seems about right, yeah? args count as an int, we define it here, we throw it on in here. Is that gonna work? Is that gonna do it? Okay, so we still blow up, but yeah, we still have exactly the same args. We're not in a dynamic array, which, why would that even help us? But it's wild that this, like, still works, right? Yeah, we have, like, the same array. It's 2 elements, 2 different pointers. But then it's giving us an empty string for the big int. It really feels like an endianness problem. Feels like an endianness problem. Okay. This does feel cute though. I kind of like this. Right, it means we're not doing even any like dynamic allocation of anything. It's just like in the stack, we get those args. Life is good. Yeah, like what am I supposed to do about this? So I bet there's just like a bug in this interaction with Postgres, and so let's play around with it. Oh, actually, I already have one of these. It's the first one I tried to report, and it never made any sense to me. Let's do it. So I think I hoped that I could just say, yeah, like jlinux compiler error reports repo 01. Okay, and then yeah. So, right, what this code was doing was just trying to select 1 as the ID. And, like, I bet I can make this even worse. Like, what happens with this? Oh, those are all compiler errors because you can't select a wildcard like that. Maybe this will help. Oh yeah, it shouldn't have been a question mark. Because I'm not doing my wildcard replacement. Oh, so we can pipe 1 through. Now it works. Huh. Oh man. Well, that is weird. So this like literal 1 in a string in the Postgres like, SQL that we're running has one behavior, the wrong behavior. But oh right, yeah, I don't need that anymore. I need a comma. But as a param, it's fine. Is it like, how is this possible? That is wild behavior. I wonder if I need to turn on, if I should turn on like query logging on my Postgres. That seems like it might help. Okay, so I guess like my main theory now is like a stretch. So like if I break it down this way, we'll say that like in J land we have one thing, and in SQL land we have like another thing. Although I wonder if there's even a syntax for this. I feel like that's how it gets logged. It's like pSQL. I don't know what I want. I want to say like args select with args. Is that a thing? No, no. This seems wrong. Oh, it's got to be like as a function. Yeah, okay. Wait, what was that last bit? Yeah, it seems like I don't have to try this. This is like trying too hard. Yeah, okay, but sometimes I do get the correct IDs out, so this is... Right, we say, like, as a string... You have, like, that in J as a string, and in Postgres, we get, like... Alright, maybe I'll just, like... I can't even, like, formulate this thought. Let me try some more stuff. And it does seem like compile time and runtime agree, and so it's less about that and more about just everything is weird. Yeah, okay, so let's say like selected string value, I don't know, selected string encoded value is gonna be I don't think this has to be hard-coded, but I guess it will be, so it doesn't make much difference, but let's do it. Okay, so what we're going to say here is embed the query here, and maybe I'll say like this takes args as well. Alright, and so here we can say, like, first do that on just select one as ID, then select some wildcard as ID, then let's say, we'll just like start there. Oh yeah, change the user to be called result. Right, so when I select the string, and I wonder like, these types are out of control, right? Is it tiny int? And then, man, I don't know. I think I want to just like run all this. And see it printed out here. Okay, so tiny int isn't a thing, it's like small int. Yeah, okay, so the way that these are The way that these are getting wrong... Oh, I should probably spread... Does that help? Yeah, it doesn't really help. Oh, and I should say... Yeah, we'll get there. I'm just trying to print out the args better. Yeah, that'll help. That'll help. Where am I? Oh. Ugh, I always get these single quotes wrong. Alright, what do we get? ID, no args. Yeah, okay, cool. Let me make this slightly better still. Alright, nothing. We got a 1, and it just turns into 1. Let's like print out .id here. I'm just so confused. Like, what significance does this number even have? Like, it seems like it's just garbled. Like, it doesn't look close to like a... Let me try this with a 0. Like, it's as if these numbers are just like encoded in a fundamentally incompatible way. Like, what's even this difference that they're off by? Paste this into somewhere. Is it? This is 256. Okay, it's definitely something related to endianness then, right? Because like what should have been a difference of 1 ended up being a difference of 256. And like, okay, let's play with small ints because they're easier to read. And we'll just count up. So like here when we're embedding the string, when we're sending a param, and here we're not. Like, how do we get to the bottom of this? What is the strategy here? I feel like I kind of want to know... Can I play with, like... Is that gonna help? Is that gonna be interesting? This is wild. Because, like... Wait... Did I not save this? Oh, is this... Like, results is empty, yeah? Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. So this means that we're, like, finding... It's like we're shipping the one in this string correctly over the wire. It's making it into the Postgres side of the world. It's being correctly understood to mean 1. Then Postgres is, like, encoding a 1 to send back to us. But what we're getting back is this noise. What is a big int even? Is it like 3264? Like, this number appears nowhere. No part of it appears anywhere. Nor do the trailing. Oh. Yeah, we're, like, nowhere near it. What? Like, how? Clearly it's finding the 1. It's just that when it returns the 1 to us, it's like returning it in a different endianness. Wow, I don't miss this part of systems programming. I think I need to, like, actually understand endianness now. Where I kind of, like, faked it up until now. Is this, like, written somewhere? Is big endian. And is it like, I can't even... Does Postgres, like, return the endianness of the... Like, to match what it got? How could it even? How could it possibly do that? It can't do that. Okay, let's look at how execute happens. Let's look at, like, send query, huh? Oh, dang. This is gonna do so much stuff, isn't it? Let's look up pq-exec. And pq-exec params. You know, I wonder if like could this be? I don't even know what I'm thinking here. I'm trying to just figure out, like, is it like the existence of params that are killing me? Oops. Grabbed one too many. Like, is it that there are params? Because if it's just that, I don't know, would this help us? Fatal error. Fatal error. You can't encode bools? I don't know. Oh, and now we're back to this other bug that I have seen. Invalid input syntax for type big int. Huh. What am I supposed to make of this? So it prints out this query, which means we got to here. The result was 0, which means this 2 made it into that placeholder, and we were fine. Oh, dang. This shall be $2. Okay, but that still has the same bug. Failed, 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 failed. And then down below, things are working. Okay. I'm gonna like restructure this a little bit. Okay, results. What? Oh yeah. Okay. Select. Oh, I forgot the new line somewhere. New line, new line, new line, new line. Here. Okay. So these encode just fine. Yeah, okay. Let me do this for real. Add a comma. Like join it correctly. If it index is less than args.count -1, print to builder. Okay, so this is legible. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 works correctly, but these with 0, 2, we got nothing. We have invalid input syntax for type big int empty string. Like what? What in the world am I supposed to do with this? So param types, values, lengths, and formats. If we've got an integer, I feel like we might be getting close. Nope. What? Let me just like print some stuff, huh? I don't know. I care about... Are these .datas? Are these all strings? What is param types? Oh, it's that arrays in J are represented as a count and a data, unlike in C. In C, it's just a pointer, and you pass in the count to get the length. Okay, great. So I'm just gonna like print some stuff, I guess. Okay, so the values are pointers, so I'm gonna need to mess with that a little. Zero, zero, zero. What? Huh? Man, I'm even more confused. Oh, because they've been they've been flipped with H to N and N to H? Do I need to N to H these? What does N to H or H to N do? Oh, it takes a pointer. Does it mutate it? Alright, I think I want... in here to do... Wait, so it is a pointer to a number. Okay. Oh, yeah, that can't be right. How is H2N supposed to work? Or N to H? What is byte swap gonna do here? What? byte swap exist in here? I feel like... Oops. Okay, we cast it to a pointer of assigned 16. We dereference, we pass that to h to n. Here, we dereference it. Oh, but it's pointing at, like, who knows what kind of data now, because we've, like, discarded all that context. Because we've just, like, written it out to a buffer. So these numbers are all over the place, aren't they? Hmm. What are param formats? It's always one. What's that about? Alright, time to read up about PQ exec params. Let's do this, Postgres. Okay. Param length, this is wild. What a spooky API. The actual data lengths of binary formatted parameters. The array pointer can be null when there are no binary parameters. Param type specifies by OID the data types to be assigned to the param symbols. Types is null, it'll be inferred. I don't know, I'm kind of curious if I'm, like, which one I'm at, you know? Kind of cool, kind of curious about it. What have I got? What have I got? False. I'm so curious. I'm so surprised that libpq doesn't do endianness on its own. Like, I'm surprised that we have to manage that. If I just, like, get rid of this, it's certainly not going to just, like, work, right? Yeah, now the results are, like, all over the place. Yeah, so now we, like, didn't even get results where, so now, like, the compiler does not believe that this 2 equals that 2 when we just disable byte swap. So now with byte swap, the string literal 2 equals that 2. And it's true all the way down until we get to this invalid input syntax for type big int. But, like, we got to... The param type is unchanged from before. The length is unchanged from before. The format is the same as before. What is the big deal here? Okay, I guess we're looking for... Yeah, integers must be passed in network byte order. Maybe this implementation... I get why this implementation... It's written in a system like... It's written in J, which is meant to be like... Don't gloss over any details ever. But, like, maybe this is just too clever, you know? Maybe we'd be better off serializing everything to strings. Passing strings over between Postgres. I don't know. Worrying about number encoding. It's like, sure, it's certainly harder for me to understand what's happening here as a developer because I have to think about converting the encoding to network encoding. Man, what a bummer. For example, integers must be passed in network byte order. And I think we're trying to do that, though. I wonder if, like, man, put a 0, put a 1. It's like we know. Is it, are like the sizes of number that we're passing in? Like, am I on a 64-bit machine and this thing is assuming 32 or something? Like, this just says int, but int means something in C++, right? Or in C. Like, the int means like the... I guess I'm wondering now, right, like, based on these int star, if this int is less clever than a C int, just like how this U8 is different than a C U8, right? Because like char is like consistently U8, but I think these ints are not, right? I think these ints are platform dependent, right? So like, right, these are right, but it's not like minimum size, right? 4 basic arithmetic type specifiers, modifiers. Okay, but like int. Yeah, these are just minimum sizes though. Long, 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 long. Actual size of integer varies by implementation. The standard requires only size relations between the data types and minimum sizes for each. And they just need to be right. The type should be the integer type of the target processor. Yeah, I bet that's our problem. And I bet that the implementer built this in a place where int lined up with cint, but that's not happening for me, which is why multiple... When I'm trying to encode multiple things here, we're having a problem. So, like, how do I get from... I wonder if someone thought about this, or if there's, like, a cint type or something. I don't know. Is it in, like, cinterop? What's this? Is there, like, an int somewhere? Oops. std int. Here we go. No, this isn't quite what I wanted. This is all C business. This is seemingly going the other way. I don't know, let's just like look for int. Yeah, of course int has a million results. What am I thinking? Maybe it's in examples or how to. Let's see. Number types. But I probably want like a fancier one about how to connect to C. there's one more name int, which is just s64. It's the signal intent. If you want an integer value but don't want to think precisely about how big it needs to be, just use int. Great. I love that, but it doesn't add a whole lot of context about how to get to a C int. What if I just say these are S32s? Uh-oh. I see. Okay, I lost entirely the thread of the theory that I was pulling on. So right now I'm wondering if this int is the problem, because I believe that perhaps we're like giving to Postgres an array of 64-bit ints, and it is... Yeah, okay, it's like finding an empty string, and that kind of does make sense, because I'm passing in like a 2, which has got to be a seg fault in terms of a memory address. Or I'm passing in like a param length of what's getting parsed as a 0, right? Because it's indexing into like halfway through. Yeah, okay, so these... I see what's happening. Okay, great. So I feel fine about this now. I'm going to call this an S32, and then here I'm going to call this cast to S32. And that I think is fine. And I got a cast here. Got a cast there. Alright, let's try that. Type 1 a pointer to int, given pointer to S32. Okay, and where is this defined? We just call this like a foreign, right? Yeah, and what if I call these S32? Did this help? Okay, result 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that was it. That was it. Okay. Alright. That's something. Oh my god, what a confusing problem I've been having here. Okay, so I feel some clarity here that our numbers all line up correctly, that now whether we can use two query params, 4 and 2 here, we get types and values, numbers and formats, and we get a result, right? 2 does equal 2, correct, and we selected 4, and that's all. Life is good. This one, select ID, I don't even know what the point of this was. This looks like something is still not entirely right, but it's probably the other end, right? We're probably like inferring, like this is probably relatively consistent noise, because I bet it's just like a later, but yeah, like I bet results that we're getting out, we're also conflating like int and S32. Right, okay. I'm gonna stop just like messing with this code directly, because I think I want, yeah, let me like do this in a real way. Okay, git checkout head. Okay, great. So now I think it's time to pull. I think I want to like PR something into this, right? And I think concretely what's happening for me is that the libpq that I'm running has int set to 32-bit, but when I'm calling into it, the J runtime is still passing 64-bit ints. So I think that I need like a C interop thing that's aware of like the size of a C int. Let me find this. There's like a wiki. I should really. I think this is it. Yeah, okay, cool. Awesome. So let's find some of this. I wonder like which of these things might possibly have. It's kind of fun. I didn't know we had regex in J. That's great. Maybe Socket knows about it, or maybe I don't know. I figure a lot of these are going to be hard without like a notion of like C. That's probably not it. I don't know, is this going to know about C sizes? No, no, no. Just do some fun. Oh, it's on to libc. I don't know. Do we look at int? This just assumes everything is 32s. I wonder if that's true in networking. Vulkan header, Vulkan loader. Oh, these are giant. Is that why we can't see them? Vibra. Okay, what do I want here? I'm looking for like S32 int S32. I wonder if the compiler like exports some like I don't know, C int size. That'd be cool, right? What's the size of a C int on this platform? Do I have to build that from scratch? I don't know. System info. Print the machine specs / system info. Give me the OS. They'll tell me about the memory. Well, that's not real helpful. How does this test? It just like initially, yeah, it looks at like the middle of a number and says, is the one at the beginning or the end? I wonder if I need to like compile some C code to like emit. Yuck. I wonder if there's like anything in the, if there's like someone's posted an issue. No. That's nothing. Yeah, what's the easiest way to figure out the like byte size of the hardware that I'm on, huh? The size of an int. That'd be neat, right? Alright, C size of int. Is that like a thing I can just look up? Sure, why not? Okay, just size of, and then the thing. That's all. Okay. And then I wonder if there's like a way, maybe I just like compile my own tiny little .o file that does that. Ugh, and like call out to it. Is there not like a C, I don't know, like no C like extern or something that I could just like call? I guess I'd hate to have to write some C code to figure this out, because like I don't want to have to depend on like a C compiler being present on the machine in order to. But like I'm sure that I have GCC or something, right? Like. No, there's no GCC. I don't know. Which makes it even worse. I don't know. It's not gonna be an end. It's not gonna be. I just want to know the size of an int that Postgres cares about. Ooh, maybe Postgres exports that. That'd be neat, right? All right. Let's think. Exec params, prepare, describe, portal. What is a portal? Oh, it has cursors and stuff. I don't want portal. Result status is not what I want. Query result information isn't really what I want. Other result information. No. None of these. Great. Dang, what a bummer. Like, maybe I better like search in. What do I want? Int size. No. C int. No. How am I supposed to find? How am I supposed to figure this out? Maybe it's in this wiki still? I don't think I looked very closely at the wiki. Let's get... Man, I don't know. Like... This doesn't seem super helpful. Surprised the JSocket doesn't need to know about. Oops. Oh man, I just quit all of my whole browser out. Oh no, things are gonna get weird. I'm just gonna... Alright, I think it's fine. Yeah, like... I wish there was a way that we could like inspect. Like it sure seems like okay, what does like foreign libpq mean? That must be like a linker tip maybe. And we're just like, okay, so these are just like declarations and saying that they're foreign. Oh, and we define foreign system library PQ. Okay. And I doubt that like, man, I don't know anything about the structure of like a DLL or something or a system library. But like there's no way that we got like introspection on it. That's not gonna make any sense. I don't know. How do I get to actual just like libpq? Because this documentation was scarce. Okay. It's gonna be like miscellaneous. Free info. That's not anything useful. Yeah, I don't know how I'm supposed to figure out the size of an int in C. You know, other guides. Maybe something to ask in the Discord. I feel like maybe I've looked just enough. No. Okay. Stuff I make as I learn JC. That seems like it's a maybe. Simple wrapper. Nope. Oh, that's neat. It's like a cute little meta program. I kind of like that. It's clever. Not gonna help me, but clever. Compiler utils. Name from scope. Make code range. Name from type info. Nope. Oh, those are great though. Is it gonna be an examples? Nope. Guides. This can't be it. Man, I don't know. What is this? This does not seem to have anything to do with me. I wonder if the compiler like gives us any like size of like, I don't know, size of a C. I don't know what I'm even looking for here. What am I hoping to find? Get file name, get base name and path. Like I want to like look at I don't think it's in the build options. That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, this is like... Yep, that's what I figured. It can't be in compiler. That doesn't make any sense. Isn't like, I don't know which of these might possibly have it. Like, is it in like... This is for like multi-process support, yeah. System calls, neat. Does this know something about the size of C ints? Maybe one of these like integrating with, because like POSIX is all written in C, yeah? Okay. Because this has got a... POSIX is only Linux and Mac. Neat. We got libc bindings. Okay. This is going to be S32s. These are all just S32s? How's that possible? What? Shouldn't these need to get clever? And like know about like libc and pthreads, don't they use like ints? Those aren't real helpful. Generate glibc bindings? Worried about how complicated this seems like it makes the world. What in the world am I looking at? Yeah, okay, so this thing is like iterating over all the... Yeah, man, I think I just need to set... I think I just I branch and PR into jai-postgres and just say, look, these are S32s. Yeah? Are there platforms where int is 64-bit? I think int is like generally 32-bit, yeah? Man, okay, I'm gonna... There's a fork already. What's Mari get up to? It's just 2 commits behind, huh? What's happened with our Luba? Alright, I'm forking. Yep. Alright. Let's do this thing. A new whole workspace going. Got a new fork. Feeling great. What am I gonna do is just set some byte sizes. And here That's not what I needed. And here. Great, so those can't be ints. They've got to be U32s. Then when I'm setting these, I need to cast. And then that's fine. Okay, gotta mess with pqexec params. That's the wrong one. Is it this? Yeah. Oh man, how many of these ints are there? How could this possibly be the right strategy? I'm obviously going way overboard here. Alright, there are no ints left. Now let's mess with... Let's just stop using that for now. And I think I picked like vendor... Yeah. And so instead I'll go dot dot slash... Just dot dot, right? Oh boy, is that possible? So if I just like cd out from this one... I'll be in this directory, in which case if I try to pull jai-postgres, I guess it'll just work? Maybe? That didn't fix it, did it? Maybe like just full on move this out of the directory. What? Oh yeah, cool. Oh, yep. Because I'm not even running inside my actual workspace here. I'm running it here, where I'm loading this. So I need to go one more dot dot. And that. No? Yeah, okay, because it's not like all linked up. It's not in here. Yeah, alright. So I'm going to cut this. I wonder if I can just like symlink it? Does that work? I have a vendor directory. Oh, crap. I think what I meant to do... like this? Maybe I'll like man ln. Make sure that I'm not doing this in a bizarre way. Source file, link name. Okay, great. And then dash s is a symbolic link. Okay. So yeah. Source file. Alright, that seems like a terrible way to do it in the long run, but it does appear that things are here. That's neat. Okay. And from here... Yeah, that's what I figured. Great. Okay, that's not gonna work. Dang. Okay. I think I need to change this. This? Yeah. Alright, so I think I also need to add a... users, Kevin, Kfin, Postgres to, I don't know, vendor jai-postgres. And then, alright, let me end that, run this again. Okay, great. And then over here, I can load like that. And I want compiler 001. Alright. Okay, okay. Did I put U32 everywhere? I did. Undo all of that because those have to be S32s, but okay, we got a few spots where we're casting and losing data. Great. Okay. jai-postgres module.j. What line are we on? 140. Oh, man. These want to be S32s. And these want to be casted to S32s. And then that should be fine, yeah? Args count. Cast to S32. Hey! Alright. I think things are now working. Okay, so step one. Make it work on my machine is done. Now let's look at build.j. Here, I want to add the import path root / vendor. I guess that's what I did. Okay. Wait, does that mean... wasn't this broken? Because I did... Hey! Does that mean this worked? Alright! Alright, things are working. Okay. So, what have we learned? It's that everything in here needs to be an S32 to work on my machine, because apparently my machine has 32-bit ints, at least in this Ubuntu build that I'm using. Okay. I'm going to ask a question about this in the J chat. Does anyone... Is there a good way? Maybe I'll draft the message over here and share it with the team, with nobody who's watching me. Is there a good way to know the size of an int in C? I'm working on some integrating with the C library pqlib and running into some tricky int size issues. Formatting SQL params. I did some Alright, posting it in questions. Does anyone know if there's a good way to look up the size of a C int on the target platform? Integrating with a C library pqlib and running into some tricky C int size compatibility issues and formatting SQL params. I poked around in the wiki, all the example code I could find, but didn't see any good stories. Maybe I have like slightly more context. I'm using Arluba, right? Where's my browser? I'm using... What am I trying to say? I'm using this. Where's my draft? Here. I think from Arluba, but looks like that was written. Okay. Is Arluba here? Yeah, okay, there's an Arluba with like a similar looking name in the J chat, which makes sense. Rafael Luba. Cool. Does anyone know if there's a good way to look up the size of a C int on the target platform, integrating with the C library pqlib, and running into some tricky C int size compatibility issues and formatting SQL params? I poked around in the wiki and all the example code I could find, but didn't see any good stories for solving this problem. I'm using this library, I think from this same... But... looks like the code assumes int means something in C and J, which is not true on my machine. Thanks. Sent. Alright, so at this point I've got rename, or I don't know, insist all ints are S32. Declare all ints as S32. Just rename a bunch of things to S32, yeah, okay. Declare all ints in the PQ as S32 explicitly. What? Huh? Where am I? Okay, I don't know what kind of typo I had there, but I'm gonna say I hacked that library. Work on my machine. That's not. I'll leave it there. I feel like if anyone cares to find my branch where I hacked things, they can just find it. Alright, I've no longer got anything vendored in. I'm just gonna delete that. Delete that. Make sure that I'm still in the right spot. Make sure I can still build. Great. Cool. Wait, let me make sure that didn't print out. Wait, oh yeah, I got rid of this. Some new email.org. Great. Okay. Where am I? Oh yeah, okay. Cool. I want to commit this and say remove vendor jai-postgres. Instead, point a separate git checkout with S32 hard-coded types, fix update bugs. Okay, and then I think I should be able to fix. There are like other things I think I tripped over and just like gave up on, which I think I should be able to fix now. This, right? I don't know. Should this work? Uh, uh, uh. Where am I? SQL execute line 91. Oh yeah, that's English. Dang! That's still a giant number. Okay. So I think in the spots where we're pulling data out, we might still have some problems. Do we hardcode ints in here anywhere? I wonder if we get the same nonsense every time. Yeah. Okay, let's look at what kind of ints we're talking about here. The number's just so big. Where do we define PG result? Is this also somehow extern? It's basically just like a void. Yeah, okay. Some kind of struct, we don't know its internals, but we can pass pointers to it. We get the results out. This is send query. You know what? Actually, this is like harder and different than what I was playing with a minute ago. But I think there was like an insert case where we weren't messing with these, right? Okay, well that still doesn't work. Is it in here? There's definitely somewhere where we were trying to run a multiple... Yeah. No. Is it in main? Where else did I see... I don't know what I was thinking about. Get out of here. So you know what? I think maybe I can just do like .. slash. That'll probably work, right? That'll probably be like a little bit cleaner. Great. And now if I do Linux build, I get all the same behavior I wanted to. What did I even change here? Oh yeah, I just tweaked that syntax. Ooh, I remember. I was going to do this. I was going to do in. This is what I wanted to try. And this didn't work, and it was very frustrating. Right, and this should be a not in. Hey! 2 argument wheres. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, life is good. Life is good. Updates work, multi-argument wheres work, but pulling ints out of results which are not the first element in the struct is no good. Let's think about that. So up here, when we run execute and we return this t, what are we doing with results? Get results is what we care about. And I think it's got to be stuff like PQ and tuples. These kinds of things are not returning like the right. It's like something in here, right? So it appears that we get the right number of tuples, and we're getting like field names that we know how to parse. But it's like get length, get value points to U8s. But it's like indexing in. PQ types? Assign member. Does PQ get value? Returns like a pointer to a U8. I bet it's in here. What is PQ types? But it's like pulling out an S64 from the value pointer. This is like send query. I want assign member. where do I call assign member from? It's from get results. But it's like we're just indexing around wrong. I bet. These are all S32s. Okay. Take a pointer. Okay, and results is of this type. What does PQ get value return? Is like a void pointer? No, it's a U8 pointer. So up top, we build up. We build up all the members for each column. Then we iterate over each row, each column. Like, I bet if I went to like main and if I just like I bet what I'm worried about is if I just like change the like select expression. Right, okay, so like given SQL, if I so this is where I'm like building up the select, yeah, okay. Like I bet this breaks stuff, right? Yeah. Oh, that breaks sort of like trivial stuff. Let me like just get rid of this. But I bet this breaks like meaningful stuff. Ugh, this is annoying. Maybe I can just like do it in here. Like I bet if I did like even this. And then did like SQL select execute. Is that a thing? SQL, yeah, this one. Yeah, okay. right? So I should be able to do this just like how I did it before. Oh yeah, okay. Select that from users using that scope, and I should be able to like print this out. And I bet we get like the wrong ID was the whole point of this. Oh, what? That's confusing. Man, I thought I had this one for sure. What if I just like select the ID? Like, can I select the ID twice? Will that break things? Well, that's pretty weird. I think I'm getting myself confused. I was sure this would do it. But I guess I've been able to select other numbers in the past. And it was, like it kind of worked. I'm like way off track today. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about this. I think SQL updates are not done, right? Yeah. Right, but I'm trying to figure out why selecting numbers often gives me like incoherent results. And I'm stumped about that still. You know, I think maybe I'll just like pause this because I think I'm hitting a brick wall. I'm gonna work on update J version because there's like a new release of the beta. Oh yeah, and I can kill this. I don't need this anymore. Oh, is that Zulf watching? Hi, Zulf. What am I looking for here? Oh yeah, right, I changed basically nothing. Little cleanup. Okay. I want to play with the new version of J. I'm gonna grab it from my downloads. Gotta save it to the desktop. I think this like cleaned up a little bit of stuff. I should be able to fix a bug. Like get rid of the s-hack and SQL select execute. I think this compiler version addressed some of the stuff that I reported. Alright, how do I want to do this? What is it? It was like version 64 was the first version that I got, right? And they're on 68 now. Move that to 6, I guess. J to j.67. And move, oops. Move desktop J to here. And then, actually, probably what I want to do is like move J to j.68. And then like symlink it. Alright, does that work with my workspace? I think so. Okay, okay. Can I J-Linux this? Alright. Cool. Still works. Okay, so let's play with SQL select. Is it still in here? Yeah, it is. Alright, so now I think, like, I should be able to do this. I think this got fixed in the latest version so that I don't need this. I can just use, like that. I can cut this out. I probably have to fix it in other places too. And where else? This is fine. This should be select. And here we're good. Alright, what happens now? Hey! Cool! Upgrade J. Remove an ugly hack. And then, I don't know, maybe SQL wheres will work a little bit now? I think that, like, oops. Like, this is now supposed to give a more compelling error message. Great. Expected a constant type here, but this expression is not constant. Awesome. Love it. Okay. Now, maybe I'll try like the declarative version of this. Maybe I'll play with... So this is what this is what they got rid of. This is non-constant. It's not allowed, and you can't throw a run in there. And I think this is now fixed, he said? Right, this is the first one they sent, and he said there are substantial problems with the run inside argument and return list, so we're now disallowing it. Dang. And there's another one that he said this is fixed. And then there's another one where he said the error message has been fixed. Oh man, so I think I probably can't do this? This might suck. Let's go back to where and see, can I do this? Like, I doubt this works now. Yeah, run and start are not supported here. And I probably can't do this either. Nope. Oh wait, what? Args is not a member of SQLware. Where am I? Line 33. Huh? This looks like progress. Oh, yeah, okay. So... Where am I? Baked, baked, baked. Baked, baked, baked. Line 15 is the problem. I changed that, though. Okay, line 36. That's weird. Line 6. Yeah, args is right there. I just need a $sign. Args is right here. What? Well, that's a weird error. When using equal instructs, the left-hand side of the equals must belong to the struct, but this does not? What does that even mean? There's no equal sign in that red highlight. I don't know. Is this gonna help me? I doubt this is really gonna do much of what I want, but let's just see, huh? Line 10 has a problem? Oh yeah, always. This is like constant-ish. Okay, let's try, I think I've gone down this road before and it went poorly. Yeah, because I can't like construct a new type info. Oh, here's one. How's it going? You want to see this weird code that I'm writing? I'm having a really weird time right now with some bugs that don't make any sense to me. Because this type system is kind of bananas. This thing needs two-way chat. I mean, I can like text back. But it's like weirder. I think if I like do this for real, I want to find ways to like pair program so that like you could just like join the stream and hop in and chat. But that's like a distant future thing. Yeah, it's pretty like centered and designed around the idea that I have like information to stream and share with the world, and that everyone else is just like paying attention and listening. It's not really a two-way street. You want to hear about my current conundrum? I'm trying to fix. I did some of this already. I'm trying to fix. So I'm trying to build this like ORM in this like weird static language, and none of this works. No way, this part does. And the cool thing about this language is like how much of the language is available statically to run at compile time to generate effectively just like C structs and procedures. And I'm trying to build something that feels a little bit like maybe like active record or like ecto. And so what I built so far doesn't go that deep, but it lets you like define like a repo, which is like an ecto concept that is like a table. It passes around success for now. There's a lot of like ergonomics that I want to iterate on. But like users repo is like super terse, which feels kind of cool. You just define this like user struct, and then you say like at compile time run this repo function, and then define the static result of that to this constant called users repo that will be available dynamically. And then this repo function is like a little bit weird. It knows like how to initiate a database connection, lookup, but it does like introspection on the struct that you passed in, which is of type record in here. And it'll like look for the type of the field on record called ID and return that as like the ID type for this record, and return this like novel struct about selecting, where like the select struct at constant knows it's like SQL selection, the SQL expression that like generates it, and the type of records returned from the struct. And I wrote some tests down here. I wrote this weird little testing framework. That's a weird exploration going on. But yeah, like there's some like cool weird stuff that I've been able to do here. But today I've just been in the weeds. I replaced the J version. I got rid of a couple of hacks. But like, man, I have to worry about like network number encoding and like little endian and big endian business, and that is not something I ever really knew very well. And also, J has some assumptions about this language has assumptions about the size of ints, which like the Postgres library pqlib doesn't share. So I had to read a bunch of like foreign libpq code and like figure out like what is actually an int and what's actually like a long or something. uh, well, so Postgres, I think that so I found someone else on the internet already defined like a Postgres mapping, and they decided to use in a way that I think is like consistent with assumptions of this language, to use like binary encoding for all the data that we pass into Postgres. That's like what this language is about. Is just like doing everything at like the byte level and like never doing unnecessary like serialization, deserialization, encoding business, but like do it fast and do it correctly. But it means that you need to then like copy into a buffer to pass to Postgres the correct encoding of numbers to be shipped directly over the network and be consumed by like Postgres at the other end without libpq doing anything to it, which means that like there's all this funny business about like like inspecting runtime sizes and casting it, and this h2n like does the endian encoding to get the right like bytes in the right order, and then it passes that all down here into this like pq exec params, which is like this is just like a wrapper around like the exact C function that's defined. And so yeah, it means that we need like everything to be of the right byte size for the C calling convention on the other side to get it. And it means that this data is like byte encoded and shipped immediately directly into over the network to Postgres at the other end. Which I don't know. I feel like if I were writing this now, I would almost certainly if someone hadn't done most of this work already, of like inspecting types and encoding things, I probably would just like do a lot of string encoding and like let like libpq handle some of the trickier parts. But I feel like since this is most of the way to like working correctly, including like network number formatting, I'm like maybe I should just try to like stumble through. But I had to do some stupid work. I had to do some like where did I put it? Here. Um, yeah, I had to do like a just like hard code that like a whole bunch of things that were called int, which works on platforms where J and C agree on int size, are S32, and this is like this is so ugly. This is like the most frustrating. And there's still just like bizarre bugs where like certain numbers come back from SQL in like a incoherent manner. I think it's like this test. No, it's like user repo. No, I can't remember. I have some test somewhere that like still gives just like yeah, like this. I have a test here where I get just like incoherent nonsense where like I'm expecting these two users to get returned, but like I think if I print it out, you can just like see it. You get like these are just wrong. Um, where like what's actually in the database, like I even have this like where expression, which asserts that like the ID is in 1 or 2. Like let me look at like SQL select execute. I can like print out the SQL that I'm running. Right, yeah, okay. And so like here, I'm like querying. Oh, how did that 1 and 2 get in there already? Did I hard code that? I did. That's weird. But yeah, so I'm running this SQL where ID is equal to 1 or 2. I'm selecting the ID and upper on users.email, and like I'm getting this is not 1 and that's not 2. Like what? Like how? Anyway, this is my confusion. Anyway, it's been a fun time. And it's like one of the cool things is these I don't know what I was gonna say. Oh, I do like this code does some SQL munging dynamically, but like almost all of it gets done like at compile time, which is fun. Like you don't have to like generate SQL expressions as often at runtime. I should probably clean this up, right? So I should do where.args 0. That should work, and then it should still blow up, right? Oh, what? It works this time. That's even more confusing. Well, I kind of hate that I just made my test pass. I'm gonna let it happen. What features have I found that make J worth it? Man, I'm not sure. There's all this stuff that I'm trying really hard to do that's just like not quite working. So the general like structure of how you do like a select statement, for example, is you pass in this like tricky select type, which is derived based on a struct that you've defined, and you can like annotate your struct with like an expression that powers it or something, which is kind of cool. And results from doing a select with this thing are going to have this shape, which is kind of neat. And then wheres are this like funny thing that are like statically you define a SQL expression and like the shape of like the number of configurable parameters, but then like at runtime you define like what the values of those parameters are. And I can see like power there, where like I think you could implement this in a way where it's like like you can like annotate this and say like every time someone calls this with novel arguments, I want to print like SQL select execute happened, and I want to print select and SQL from and the where. And so like one thing that came up at my last job was like there's a lot of auditing done about like and a lot of like frustration that came from like the platform and SRE team about like not being confident about what oh yeah, this isn't known yet. I think it could be though. Maybe I'll just add that there. Like a lot of like all the databases people were like mad about not knowing like what queries are going to get run at production at different times. And yeah, cool. We're like most of the way there now. So you could do like select dot I don't know members and SQL where dot I don't know members as well. Does that help? No, I think I need to cast these to type info struct. And this demo might not be going super impressively, but that's not great. So what I'm imagining is that like in this language, because of all the dynamic because of all the like static analysis of things, you can figure out, okay, so what I just did was I added this modify tag that says that like for every novel set of like baked parameters, which is like the type of the select, this value of from that we're passing into this function, and the type of the SQL where clause, we get like a different sort of concrete like version of this procedure built into the binary. And so for every set of 3 novel one of those that we encounter in compiling this code, we execute this modify block, which just prints out those 3 types that we encountered. And so this isn't super easy to read, but you can see... oh, it's kind of hard to access this data. But you can see here that there's this constant SQL expression that's stored, that's like a constant, and it's stored in the constant storage here. And then similarly for the where expression, there's a SQL expression that's also similarly a constant in the constant storage. And it's like kind of like clunky code to actually look that up. I think I wrote that somewhere, but I can't remember where. Yeah, but the short like the if you squint, it's easy. It's like plausible that you might look up this select SQL expression and the where's SQL expression, and glue them together with the from, which should be like just in here. This users is the from, and so you could glue together like the SQL that's actually going to get run at production. Because like any time that we're gluing together a select and a SQL where, they have these static types that get passed into this. And so you might just like use something like this to generate an artifact to hand off to like a platform team to say these are all the queries that we might ever run, and then they could audit those for things that might cause a sequential scan on a big table or something. That's the first thing I've encountered that's like a novel idea that seems like it would be powerful that couldn't be expressed easily in other languages. That was a bunch of like leaps to get to it though, but like there's like a lot of really powerful stuff that I bet is sort of in that universe of like the language is so flexible statically that you can actually like answer questions at compile time that would otherwise be that in most languages I think would be like prohibitively hard to answer. You need like an entire like suite of like automated static analysis tools or something, where this one just like does it. The other thing, and this is like a solved problem in other languages, but I like built my own little like build program, which is like kind of expected in this language. And you can do some things that like any language can do about like configuring the environment, about where to look up like imports and stuff. But this was kind of cool. I like the unit test framework that I'm using is like it's like these like 6 lines of code, which is to say that I just look for like a note on code that I've written called test. Um, and I just wrote this, right? And so like inlined in my code, I have these symbols. It's called has prefix. Like this is a test that I've written. It has this annotation on it, this note on it, and my own build script runs that test using exactly these lines by just like embedding into the compiling program a run directive to run that declaration that was tagged with a test note. And so it means that like, right, I didn't need to like I'm somebody who would like be happy to learn the framework to do this the right way, but also it means that like I mean like that framework might be like 6 lines long. Like it might be like an incredibly like terse framework. And there's like one other cool trick maybe, which is that all those added strings get embedded into this like build artifact. So you can see that I've like injected all these lines of code. And I have one other bit of like that level of like manual metaprogramming, where I'm like building up dynamic arrays. And these all look super similar, but you can see exactly where the code generation happened. Yeah. Anyway, it seems like this kind of thing, right? So here I'm like running a thing that generates a string that gets inserted into the body of this function, which is like wild to me that you might do that. And you can see here I'm like printing out to a string buffer, to a string builder, like declaring a variable called result and calling array add on it, and then returning the dereference of that result. And like you can see what that output looks like here, which like so this is like a very crufty but like massively powerful way to like metaprogram a body of a procedure based on the static data of that procedure, where like right I just play with the type of this, I play with like the members of this type, and for each member on that type I like write this line out. I don't know. So I feel like at the intersection of these things there's something very powerful and like accessible, um, and that like man, if I could write code in a language that even vaguely approximates the expressiveness of like Ruby, but like as a static language, right? As like a compiled language that runs in like as like a binary instead of as interpreted. Whew, what a world that would be. So I'm like inspired, even though there are like clear limits and there's some things that don't make sense to me. Where like the current problem that I opened with is that I want to do some tricky arithmetic on the types of where expressions, where I want them to know their SQL and I want to join them together with this like wildcard style, like join them with an and like I just don't think the language can quite express this concept yet, which is kind of a bummer. Anyway, I'm not sure if you're even still there. That was a long answer. Did you like my rant? Yeah. Um, I could jump off the stream for a bit. I know you wanted to chat about other stuff too. All right. I think there's one other person here. Goodbye, one other person. I'll probably get back on later. Nah, I think I'm like hitting a breaking point anyway. I'm like feeling kind of fried after messing with all this like int serialization business. I'll just make sure I'm all like pushed up. Did I change stuff? I did. Oh yeah, this was a nice change. This was a unnecessary change. I can just delete the modify block, can't I? That's a good change. That's a good change. Those are fine. Yeah, okay, cool. Alright, I think I'm gonna get off the stream. Yeah. Maybe I'll get back on later. Bye.